Good morning, world. Gallon Sector. Now, it was announced yesterday that Michael B. Jordan is cast now in Black Panther movie. And there's speculations as to who he's going to be. It's not known yet what his character is, but a lot of speculations point towards a villain. I was hoping they would bring the Claw back, and maybe they will. Claw was introduced in Age of Ultron. He was the guy that Ultron got his vibranium from. He's also a classic Black Panther villain. He killed T'Chaka, who is T'Challa's father. And he also uses a sound device that he has attached to his arm to emit sound waves at a frequency where it destroys, crumbles, or breaks things down. But also, Lupita Nyong'o, we know her from 12 Years a Slave. She that was one of the roles where she actually was playing herself on screen. She did a lot of animated voiceover. Force Awakens, she did some motion capture for a character in Force Awakens, Star Wars. She also played in, a friend of mine reminded me, she played in, what was it, Non-Stop with Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, she was in Non-Stop. She was the stewardess on the plane. I forgot about that. You know, that film, I gotta watch it again. I watched it once. But anyway, yeah, with Lupita in there, Michael B. Jordan, and then Ryan Coogler directing. I think this is going to be a really strong movie for African Americans, not just African Americans, but also for African culture. They said 90% of the cast is going to be African American or African, and that's great. And also, it has Marvel running behind it. Marvel already has this really strong fan base with comic book readers, non-comic book readers. Their movies are doing really well, really good. So I think people are going to be behind it. Black Panther got a lot of praise in Civil War. He is everybody's talking about. He's included in the top 3 people who steal this show. And a lot of people say he's either the first or the second. Spider-Man is so iconic. So, of course, that's just going to, grab most people. But here's the thing. I saw on MTV.com that they were saying the Black Panther movie has to be twice as good if it wants to succeed. Now, twice as good as what? I don't know. I mean, they didn't say any standards. They just said twice as good. The thing is, it just has to be good. I believe that. Like I said, Marvel has a strong following behind them. And then Kevin Feige, he's running Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's doing an excellent job. I mean, he's doing an excellent job. He oversees all these Marvel projects. And it turned out great. Another thing is Wakanda. Just the city of Wakanda itself. I remember when I was young and I used to see pictures of Wakanda. It looked very much like an African nation. But it had these little differences. Like, they have advanced technology. Their buildings look advanced. The architect of the buildings and stuff like that. They have a lot of tech, high upgraded tech. They have these choppers that look like, I don't even know if they're choppers. They could just be planes, but they look like something out of, it looks like a futuristic setting, a futuristic world almost in Wakanda. So that can play really well. You have like these African jungle elements all around, and then it's this futuristic city. It's going to have a very unique look, I believe. And if it takes place primarily in Wakanda, that would be great. Or just Africa in general. They can go outside of Wakanda. I also think if they but also put in some other Marvel heroes, that can't hurt. Captain America at the end of, spoilers, at the end of Civil War, Captain America was in Wakanda and Bucky's being kept in cryogenic stasis there. So it's pretty cool. Like, he was helping out Captain America, and the Americans pretty much probably still want, the American governments still want Bucky, and maybe the other governments around the world as well. He's done a lot of damage over the last 70 years. But I think this film is great. It's great already in the way it's hidden. Worst case scenario, it just doesn't win over the fans. But honestly, who really thinks this film isn't going to do good? I mean, with the cast, the director, the setting, and then just being a part of Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has already been set up for Black Panther and Civil War, it's going to be great. I have a feeling it's going to be great. I think we have nothing to worry about. It has to be twice as good if it's to succeed, which MTV.com is saying. The only thing I can really see that they're saying there is there are still grounds to be broken by other culture, mainstream films or television shows as well. Anytime you throw a lot of deep, rich culture in there, I don't care if it's Hindu, it could be African, African American, Latino culture. It tends to always be a test of, can this succeed? Will this succeed? And then Black Panther, being a Marvel movie, superhero movie, is going to have a big budget. It's going to have a big budget, And I mean, not since Blade have we seen something like this. And that's just because Wesley Snipes was the hero in that. You know, it's not like it was deep in African culture. There were some African American actors in there. We also have Luke Cage showing up in September, which is a part of Marvel's cinematic universe. And that's a series on Netflix, so it's considered like a television series. And the cast in there is going to be mostly African Americans, and it's set in Harlem. This is a time where we can see. I have a feeling Luke Cage is going to do good too. He's a part of Marvel Cinematic Universe, and like I said, just having Marvel behind your back is going to do a lot for these characters and these series and these movies. Really, Black Panther is not one of the top 5 most popular superheroes. You definitely have Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, and whoever the other 2 are. It could be a toss-up between. I really am not going to say right now, but Iron Man's really hot right now. And Captain America has always been Captain America. He stands as a symbol, especially here in America. I think some people would throw him in there. But the thing is, I think that Black Panther is going to be wonderful. A lot of kids who just getting into comics or these superheroes are going to gravitate towards him. I think he's very different than most of the other heroes in Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that stands out on his own. He has a strong following. He really does. There's a lot of kids who know who he is now. I mean, you can introduce somebody like Nova in Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think that a lot of kids are going to gravitate towards him too. There's something for everybody. You got most of us African American kids growing up liking most of these superheroes who didn't share resemblance to us. I mean, I did gravitate towards War Machine when I was young because he was African American and he looked like me. And I'm like, oh, he's just like Iron Man, but he's African American. I did also like Falcon. I gave him a chance just being in a comic store and seeing his issue before because he was African American. Black Panther, it took me some time to get into him. Just because when I heard Black Panther or saw him, I was definitely thinking of Black Panther Party, the militant group, activist group, and it just turned me off. I'm like, oh, they created him after, what's his deal? Once I started to learn about him and hear some more, I started to like him more. And that was in late teens, early 20s. So, but I think it's going to be fine. The film is going to do good. It has to be twice as good if it's to succeed. If it's twice as good, that means it's just going to be twice as good as any succeeding Marvel film. That's my opinion on it. I'm not going to be biased and just say, hey, I'm African American, so this film has to be great. It's going to be great. No, I really think they're going to do a great job. Chadwick Boseman is a great actor. He's held it down. He played James Brown, Jackie Robinson. He did good in both of those films. He's been in numerous television shows, but he holds his own. He does really well. His reception in Civil War was good enough to the point that that film can succeed on its own just with Chadwick Boseman. Now you bring in somebody like Michael B. Jordan, who is very popular with audiences of different movies nowadays. I mean, Creed was good. And also the director. You got Ryan directing this. He directed Creed and Fruitvale Station. Now he's going up as you look at it. Fruitvale Station budget probably was smaller than Creed. And Creed was another step up in the type of films he's doing and handling a big franchise behind Creed, the Rocky franchise. And this is a spinoff of that. And it had Sylvester Stallone in it. And now he's doing a superhero movie. Black Panther, a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's going up. And I have nothing but faith in this film and other Marvel films in the future. I just think they're all going to do really well. Anyway, that's my video for right now. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and I will be getting back to you next time.